Tonight, let's leave the world you know behind. Let's travel to a place where silence isn't empty, but full. Imagine a path. Not a road, but a ribbon of uneven stone, worn smooth by centuries of sandaled feet. It curls up a mountainside, into a veil of silver mist. The air is cold here. It smells of pine resin and old rain, and beneath that, the faint, sweet smell of extinguished incense. This is where our story begins. Not with a shout, but with a whisper. The whisper of ancient stones. You stand before a massive wooden gate, blackened by time and weather. There is no bell, no knocker. You aren't sure what to do. But as you raise your hand, the gate groans inward. A deep, tired sound, like a waking giant. A monk stands in the shadows. His face is a map of wrinkles, but his eyes are 2 points of gentle light. He doesn't speak. He simply looks at you, and in that look, you feel a strange certainty. He has been waiting for you. He turns. You follow. Your footsteps echo in a vast courtyard. A single fountain trickles water into a stone basin. The moonlight doesn't just shine on the water, it seems to live within it, making the liquid glow with a soft, internal light. He leads you into a cloister, the arches rising around you like the ribs of a slumbering earth dragon. The air changes. It's cooler here, and thick with the scent of beeswax and dry, ancient wood. And then, you see it. To your left, on a wall covered in a faded painting of a saint, a crack. Not a random fracture, but a deliberate, curving line, like a hidden smile. And you know, with a certainty that chills your skin. Something is behind this wall. And it has been waiting. In a place like this, the walls are not just stone and mortar. They are a living skin. They were built by hands that chanted prayers with every lifted brick. They absorbed those prayers. They absorbed the heat from candles, the salt from tears, the echoes of whispered fears. If you are very still, and you press your palm against the cold stone, you can feel a faint, steady hum. A vibration. It's the memory of 1,000 voices, 1,000 heartbeats, all held in trust. The old monk stops. He places his palm directly over the crack in the fresco. He doesn't push. He simply presses. And with a soft, grinding sigh, a section of the wall, taller than a man, swings inward. A rush of cold, damp air escapes, carrying the scent of wet clay and forgotten things. The voices are restless tonight, the monk whispers, his voice barely audible. They have been waiting for a listener. He takes a lantern from a niche. The flame flickers, throwing wild, dancing shadows. A narrow staircase spirals down into darkness. You have a choice. To turn back to the familiar courtyard, or to descend. You take a breath. And you follow him down. The stairs are steep, the walls close. As you descend, the lantern light glides over the stone, and you see them, carvings. Not grand art, but frantic scribbles. A name. A date. A ship. A sword. The desperate graffiti of souls leaving their mark before being sealed away. At the bottom, a small, circular chamber. The air is still and heavy. In the center, a simple stone table. And on it, manuscripts. But these are not proud books. These are wounded things. Scrolls sealed with crumbling wax. Journals bound in leather that looks like tortured skin. The monk runs a reverent finger over one, but does not open it. The first abbot was a practical man, he says, his voice echoing softly. He knew some men come here seeking God, and others come here fleeing themselves. A soldier haunted by the eyes of the men he killed. A poet whose words had turned to ash in his mouth. A lover who had lost his beloved to the sea. He turns to you, his eyes gleaming in the lamplight. The abbot gave them a ritual. A way to set their burdens down. They would write it all down, every sin, every sorrow, every secret too terrible to speak aloud. They would pour their souls onto parchment. And then, they would give it to the walls. They built the monastery around these secrets. These walls are not just stone, they are a tapestry of silence, woven from confessions. He leads you through a low archway into another space. Your breath catches. It's a vast, cavernous hall, so tall the ceiling is lost in shadow. And lining the walls are hundreds, no, thousands of candles. Their flames do not flicker wildly, but sway in a unified, gentle rhythm, like a field of golden wheat in a slow wind. The monk gestures to a simple stone bench. Sit. And listen. Not with your ears. Listen with your bones. You sit. At first, there is only the profound silence. But then, you feel it. A low thrumming in the air, a resonance that climbs the scale of your spine. It's a chord made of 1,000 whispers, a hum of pure memory. Do you hear them now? The monk asks, his voice part of the music. They are not ghosts. They are echoes. Every I am sorry, every I believe, every I am afraid, still lives here. The stone remembered. Close your eyes. In the candlelight, you see them. A young monk, his hand trembling as he lights a candle for a mother he left behind. An old scribe, smiling as he adds a tiny, hidden flower to the margin of a holy text. A gardener, humming as he brushes his fingers through the lavender. The past is not gone. It is simply folded into the stone, playing on a loop of eternal quiet. When you open your eyes, the monk is rising. He leads you back, not the way you came, but through another passage, hidden behind a tapestry so old the threads are barely holding on. It depicts the night sky, each star a tiny, polished pearl. He pulls it aside. Beyond is a garden. But this is no ordinary garden. The walls are overgrown with ivy, sealing it in. The air is warm and thick with the scent of night-blooming jasmine and crushed mint. A tiny stream cuts a silver path through mossy stones. This garden was walled up after a great fire 200 years ago, the monk says, kneeling. When we reopened it, we found no neglect. The roses were in bloom. The herbs were thriving. As if someone never stopped tending it. He looks up at you, a mischievous glint in his eye. The original design was a map. A mirror of the constellations on the night the monastery was founded. The earth and the heavens, planted together. You look up. The stars above are sharp and clear. You look down at the layout of the flower beds, the stream, and you see it. The swan. The bear. The harp. It's all here. Heaven is not above you, it is beneath your feet. A bell rings. Once. A clean, clear note that cuts through the garden's magic. It doesn't command, it invites. You follow the sound to the chapel. Inside, it is dark, save for the ruby glow of the sanctuary lamp. The monks are already there, kneeling in their stalls. They do not chant. They do not sing. They breathe. In and out. A slow, synchronized rhythm. It is the most powerful sound you have ever heard. This is the engine of the place. This silent, communal breath. You find an empty space, and you kneel. You try to match your breath to theirs. And in that moment, you understand. The secret isn't in the manuscripts or the carvings. The secret is this silence. This deliberate, chosen, living silence. It's a presence, not an absence. After the prayer, the old monk finds you. He doesn't say a word, but motions for you to follow him one last time. He takes you to a door you hadn't noticed, carved with symbols of the moon and waves. He lights a fresh candle, presses his palm to the center of the door, and it opens without a sound. The room within is small and circular. The ceiling is a single pane of crystal, and the full moon pours through it, filling the space with a liquid, blue-white light. In the center of the room, on a pedestal, is a simple bowl of polished black stone, filled with water so still it looks like solid glass. This is the heart of the monastery, he whispers. When a brother lost his way, he came here. He would look into the water, and remember. He gestures. Look. You lean over the bowl. You see the moon, reflected perfectly. But then the water shivers. The image changes. You see faces you don't know, a laughing woman, a stern king, a playing child. You see landscapes of hills and seas you've never visited. And then, you see your own face. Not as a reflection, but from a memory. A moment of joy you had forgotten. A moment of kindness you once gave. The water shows you not the secrets of the monastery, but the secrets you brought with you. And it holds them, without judgment. The stone has been waiting for your burdens, too. He leads you to a small, simple cell. A narrow bed, a rough wool blanket, a pillow stuffed with lavender. The room is humility itself. At the door, he pauses. There is one final secret, he says, his voice softer than ever. Every soul who rests here leaves something behind. A sigh. A released breath at the moment of sleep. The monastery gathers these exhalations. They are the fuel for our silence, the texture of our peace. You are not just a guest here. You are now a part of its story. He bows. Sleep. The walls will keep watch. And he is gone. You lie down. The blanket is coarse, but warm. The scent of lavender cradles your head. From outside, the wind combs through the cypress trees. The bell tolls once more, a soft, final note that melts into the night. As you drift, imagine the centuries wrapping around you like a blanket. See the scribe in his cellar, sealing his letter with a drop of wax. See the soldier planting a rose in the secret garden. See the monk in the room of water, watching his past shimmer and fade. The monastery hums its low, eternal hum. A lullaby of stone and spirit. And you realize the last, the greatest secret, the one the water was trying to show you. Peace is not the absence of trouble. It is the presence of a quiet so vast, so deep, that your troubles can finally be set down, and simply it be. The candles in the hallways gutter and go out, one by one. The moon continues its slow journey across the crystal ceiling. The fountain in the courtyard whispers and falls silent. Somewhere a page turns. Perhaps it's the wind. Perhaps it's the monastery itself, adding your chapter to its endless, silent book. The world outside is still there. But in here, there is only the quiet. The deep. The kind. The welcoming quiet. Let it hold you. The secrets are safe. The night is long. And kind. Sleep now.